Giving me side eye.
I know. Why? What is going on?
Hello, friends and folks.
Good.
Okay. Before we start the video, there is a very large oak tree coming down in our backyard. So you may hear sawing and the chainsaws. They are kind of loud.
That's the tree that's coming down.
Yeah. So we just want to apologize ahead of time if the background noise is very distracting to you, or if it's a little bit loud. And if for those who are using headphones, if you need to turn down your volume or whatnot, we completely understand. But we just wanted to come out and get back on track. This is usually our week to record. We are a day later. Had we planned and known... Oh, there's a big one that just fell. Woo! Had we planned this a little bit better, we probably would have recorded yesterday. But we took a really nice trip yesterday, so...
we probably still should have, though.
Yeah.
Because we had plenty of time.
Right.
In the early morning. If we got started at 8 a.m., we
probably could have.
We could have done everything yesterday.
Yeah. So, apologies ahead of time. I appreciate the comments and the feedback, but we already know that there is background noise, and if it's just not for you, then this episode may not be for you, and I'm so sorry.
I may try to edit volume. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's 11:39 on Sunday.
Today is Sunday, March 30th.
Yes. So they may be breaking for lunch soon, which will be great for us.
No, I think he has his food in the tree.
Right, but the other gents downstairs that are... So we have a gentleman in the tree, and he's doing his thing, tying up things and whatnot. He's been in the tree since about 9:30 this morning.
Yeah.
And then there's a group of gentlemen that are on the ground level cutting up any of the large branches that have fallen. This tree needed to come down. Unfortunately, it is rotted on our neighbor's side, so we really couldn't see it. And then it's a very, very dangerous tree because of some of the branches you can see, like Kevin showed you the picture. But look at all those branches and things that are kind of hanging over. There were some branches that were already fallen from the tree, but tangled in other branches. So very, very needed to come down, and you can see in the actual how rotted away the interior of some of those large branches are. So it did need to come down. Unfortunately, there are wildlife that live in the tree, so we're hoping that they sought refuge prior.
It's literally like an apartment building for squirrels. I feel like there's 10 to 20 that live in there.
Right.
Because we see them collecting the leaves and putting them up in their nests and whatnot.
Very cute.
So that's kind of sad for them. There may be a few raccoons that live in there as well that we don't know, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but God forbid it fell down or something happens.
Yes.
We can't take a chance.
Yeah, it needed to come down.
Safety first. So there you go. There's your disclaimer. Really sorry, but here we are.
Okay. So welcome to Needles at the Ready. I'm Kevin.
This is not an arbor channel. Arborist?
Well, you would be an arborist if you took care of trees. Mm-hmm. We're not arborists.
No, nor are we professionals in any regard whatsoever.
At all with anything that we do. So welcome to Needles at the Ready. I'm Kevin.
I'm Ray.
Today is Sunday, March 30th, 2025, and this is episode 132 of our YouTube channel, where we talk about knitting, crocheting, yarn dyeing, buying.
Why'd you say it like that?
Because we bought more. Well, yarn buying, what else? And all the things that go with that. Spinning, too. That stuff. I said it like that because we bought more yesterday than we bought at Nash Yarn Fest. So that will be coming up. And let's see. So, returning viewers, welcome back.
Hi. 2 thumbs up to you.
And new people, welcome.
Hope 2 thumbs up to you as well.
So let's jump in.
Okay.
It's only been a week, so not much has happened at all.
I know.
Except we have a tree getting cut down.
Correct.
And yesterday we took a trip to pick up every stitch.
We did.
So Josh from Red Stag Fiber was having a trunk show, and his wife Sharon, who is the owner of the Modern Skein in Conroy, Texas, were both there. So we decided to take the drive and go see them, as well as the fantastic staff at Pick Up Every Stitch.
They're so welcoming. It's so nice to walk in there. Like, as soon as we walked in, it was just like old friends. Hey, how are you? Hugs
and we hadn't been
stuff.
in a while. Last time we were there was when we did the Socks for Sam event, and that was somewhere in November, we believe, if we remember correctly. So it's been a while since we had gone, so it was nice to head there for a bit. And the drive was actually not bad. It was only about an hour for us.
Yeah.
And a little bit less on the way home.
Right. We were looking at the houses on the drive. It's a very posh section that we drove through, and some of these houses were
we
quite
drove through.
grand.
Yeah, I pulled up the Realtor app and was just like looking at houses as we were driving. I was like, woof. What else did we do? Oh, I went for a lovely walk with Kate from the Knitting Posse on Friday. We went to Westport, did a walk through Sherwood Island State Park, and then we went for a nice little brunch afterwards. So that was
a big one. But he did a good job breaking it down.
So we're going to be very distracted this episode.
Sorry.
Because it's literally... So we're in the office, and our office is... I mean, you're...
It's literally... This is my view. Our view.
Well, you have a better view. So our office windows face the backyard, so the tree is to the left.
Yeah.
Over here, so Ray has a good view of it. So so we that's kind of been our 1 week.
Yeah, I don't think that there was anything. Did we do anything after the podcast last week? So did we do it on a Saturday or a Sunday? Sunday.
What did we do Saturday?
Or was it Monday?
I have no idea.
Did we do Monday?
No,
No,
because you were at work.
No.
Yeah.
Didn't I take Monday off?
No.
When did we go to Nashville?
2 weekends ago.
Oh.
No.
You're right.
Yeah. I don't know what day.
Oops, sorry, I kicked you. Oh, here we go. Kevin's going to have to start all over again.
Man. Okay. Sorry for the shaking. I don't know. Who knows what we did last week?
Who knows? I don't think I did anything.
Yeah, me neither.
No,
all
schoolwork.
Right. So then, admin-y stuff. The only thing admin-y that we have is that there is still the...
From a book
mail that we're hosting with Piece for Piece Crafting, Michael, and Fiber Hustle, Chip and Aaron. And that is just knitting, crocheting, making something from a periodical that you have in your possession.
Yes. I definitely had a lot of FOMO when Carrie came knocking on the Chip and Aaron's back window.
I know nobody could knock behind us.
No, that would be really creepy. But I would love to be the ones knocking behind Chip and Aaron. Or walking through their yard. One day. Okay. Maybe one day.
Maybe.
If you guys don't, I'm sure you already do, but please check out Fiber Hustle. They just put out a new episode, and Carrie, our really good friend Carrie from The Creative Obsession, was visiting, and it's really cute when they have visitors join their podcast.
And we do link all of the stuff that we talk about down below, YouTube channels, patterns, yarns, stuff like that. If we forget, just reach out to us and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
So... That was all the admin stuff?
So listen, we did a lot of tree talk and admin stuff less than 10 minutes.
And we already covered what we did over the last week.
This is going to be a 22-minute episode.
All right. No, it won't.
I want to tickle you.
Now it's going to be 2.5 hours. You've jinxed us twice today with that. What's at the ring?
I'm sorry? A husky's on the loose. We're very distracted today.
All right, let's jump into some knitting. I have 3 FOs... and 2 whips.
Whoosh. Nice. I have 2 FOs since we've last broadcast, and I'm going to talk about 3 whips today.
So then I'll start.
I would love for you to.
All right, so this bag just has a lot of the stuff.
I thought you were going to say this bag is one of my FOs.
No, this is from Pink Waffle.
It's a good bag.
So my first FO, I showed last week. What's this from?
I wish we can send messages to the people that left because of the chainsaw, because now it's quiet.
I know. So
come on back.
Finished my... Would you mind holding that, please?
I wouldn't.
Thank
you.
I
would love to, actually.
I finished my Salish cap.
Would you like me to put it on?
Mary Perninka, I believe is how you say it.
Let's see. How do I want to wear it?
Continue. Salish. Here
I like the slouchy look.
So this is, yes, by Mary Perninka. It was designed for Blue Sky Fibers.
It's cute.
For their Traveler series. I believe,
Very cute.
I think it's a $3 pattern. It is meant to use 2 skeins of fingering weight held double. You can wear it with a brim or slouchy. It is knit using...
I like the decreases.
Yes, what I like about the decreases is the decreases happen incredibly quick.
Yeah. This is a really good beanie. I don't think I would wear it slouchy.
I personally would not either.
Yeah. But this is great. It's a great fit.
So it is knit on a US 8.
I think it looks nice.
5mm needle. I use some leftover yarn. Mm-hmm. This is what I have left of it. So this is from Lolo Did It in the color Rumpelstiltskin. This actually, I think last time I said it's from Lolo Did It. It's not. This is from Barnyard Knits.
Oh, yeah.
This might be something about a cupboard.
Kitchen cupboard?
Kitchen cupboard?
Something.
Or country kitchen. I think that's what this is.
It sounds correct.
I could be wrong.
Sorry, the people that came back. The Green Chainsaw's back as well.
But I know it's something from Barnyard Knits.
Yeah.
It's like 5 to 6 years old, I think. So
I need to slow down on this tea.
This is really delicious. All right, so that's finished. And again, I just like using it for scrap yarn.
Yeah.
It's a great way to use up some of your leftovers.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
As long as you have 40 grams, you should be fine. Mm-hmm. It uses probably 40 grams of each color.
And I mean, and the good thing, I think you've said it too, is that you don't change needle sizes or any of that stuff.
Nope.
Or like, it's a great fit.
Yeah, I do a German twisted cast on, so I have a nice stretchy cast on, and it's a 2x2 ribbed hat.
Yeah.
When I weave in my ends on a hat like this, I weave them on the outside, so that when you fold it up, they won't be like, they're not here.
Yeah.
Like they typically would be. And I just started doing that within the past probably year.
I think that's clever.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's a good fit. You look good in those style hats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I do love this hat. I like a DK weight hat. It's one of my favorite weights to knit hats with.
If there was yellow in that, it would look like my Chitara hat, I think.
A little bit. It definitely gives a very woodsy feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I really like the way that these two yarns played with each other.
And I think this pattern too, if you were to shorten the length of the hat and start your decreases, it would be a nice skull cap.
Not folded up, right?
Yeah, fold it up.
Skull caps are folded?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Where you just wear it like right on
your skull?
Yeah, I think that you have ribbon.
Are those the ones where like it comes above your ear?
Yeah, above your ear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, could you not do that with this and just make That's
literally what I just said.
No, I'm saying with a bit like roll the brim up more
potentially
and make it a skull cap?
Sure. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Or you could you could get fancy and couldn't you just like do a double brim and make it a skull cap?
The possibilities are endless with this pattern. Highly recommend. It's a $3 pattern, right? Or something
I do.
Like
what
that?
Was really fun is that I think after the last episode, because it was a whip last week, somebody had left a comment that they've made 21 of these since we've started showing it, which that's amazing. Like 21 of these.
Yeah, that's really great.
And they knit up super quick. Like if it's the one thing you knit on, you could have this out done in a couple of days.
Yeah. I actually don't. I'm looking at skull caps now, and I don't see very many with ribbing. But you do whichever you want. You do you, boo, and you call it whatever you want. You want to call it a trundle, you call it a trundle.
That is my first whip. Or that's a lie, my first FO, and correct. This will go... This one I may keep.
Yeah, I think you should. It looks really good.
For those of you who are new, I do knit a bunch of these just to put in like a gift bin for the holiday season. So this way, people come over, they want a gift, they could take it. So, wow, FO1.
Really big one. Okay, I'll stay on the theme of hats. Do I go now?
Yeah, it's your turn.
I'll stay on the theme of hats. This is a new one. Oh, no.
You don't have the label?
No, I have no idea where it is. Well, this is the...
Is this my label or yours? Mine.
Yeah, because I don't know the name... What? It doesn't... It's okay.
You start talking, I'll research.
All right. This is the Sockhead Slouch hat by Kelly McClure. It's by far one of my most knit hats patterns, my most used knit patterns. And I absolutely love how this slouch fits me personally. I have quite a few of them, and I will say that this is absolutely one of my favorites. So Red Stag Fiber was kind enough to send us each a skein of his new bases on fingering and on worsted. So the name of the base is Yorkshire Fingering. It is a let's see. It is 75% Polworth and 25% Masham. It's a non-superwash wool. It blocks absolutely beautifully. I can't remember what the color of this is.
Oh, it's right here.
Moray Firth? I don't think so. No, it's not.
It's not. That looks really similar.
No, I don't think so. I'll have to check. What are the other colors there?
There's no other one.
I would recognize the name of it.
It's not St. Andrews.
No. Maybe it is Moray Firth.
I think it's Moray Firth. It's not French waistcoat. That's
No.
the one we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
It's got to be Moray Firth.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Moray Firth. Thanks, Kev. So I did this exactly to pattern.
Did you?
I did. I did a German twisted cast on, though, for this 2x2 rib. You do the ribbing for 4 inches, and then you knit it's a free pattern, which is fantastic. There's also a cowl version of the Sockhead slouch called the Sockhead cowl. And I love the drape of this and how I think that this yarn really lends itself to the pattern very well, especially being a slouchy style hat. You certainly do not have to wear it slouchy. I just happen to like the look of it, and I love the tonality of his yarn. It's it's very consistent, the tonality of it, because my sweater from Red Stag, even though it's a different base, I believe. No, it's the same base.
It's just a different weight.
Yeah, it's just a different weight. The DK weight has the same kind of little stripes and like changes in tonality, which I really, really like. I think it lends itself very well to showing off the yarn, and that's why I really love this pattern. The pattern was really created, I think, to show off the yarn. I think she even says it in the pattern, the yarn that sometimes is too pretty to wear on your feet. So it was another way, very simple way, to turn sock yarn or any fingering weight yarn really into a wearable hat. So I absolutely love this. The yardage is a lot for the fingering weight. Does it have it there?
Yep.
So it's 492 yards per 100 grams. So it's a very light fingering.
May I see, please?
Yeah, please.
Oh, it bloomed up quite a bit.
Isn't it beautiful?
I remember when you first started knitting it, you thought maybe because it was so light, it may not lend itself well to the pattern, that it was going to be different than your hat that you like, right?
Yeah.
So you have one Sockhead. There's one Sockhead hat that you've made to rule them all.
It is. Like, it is. To
everything that's compared to that Sockhead.
Yeah, it's my absolute favorite.
Which was knit out of Once Upon a Corgi.
Once Upon a Corgi.
But
in the death colorway.
Who's now applies in Hellbound.
Yep. And it was 100% Corridale, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
But this one, this is going to absolutely be right up there with that. I love how it feels. And what I also like about these is sometimes when you're wearing a hat to go out to like shovel snow or do something, like that in the wintertime, or yard work or whatever in the fall, whatnot, sometimes a heavier hat feels good at first, but then when you start getting warm and sweaty or whatever, it becomes too much, and it's not. And you don't want to take off the hat because then it's just like too cold. Sure. So that's why I really love. I typically go for my Sockhead hats when when outside, like doing work. If I have to go shovel snow or do something like that, and I think that this is absolutely perfect. And this is like one of those. I don't know. I like the slouch look. It's it's not a giant like slouch, but I think it's enough for me.
Yeah, no,
I think it looks good,
You
and I love the
that
color.
Look.
Yeah, I do like the look. I don't know if the look looks good on me,
I don't know how many.
but I like wearing it like that.
Have I knit any stuff?
You knit one. I think you did one, and it came out too big.
Probably.
And I don't think you were very happy with it.
Huh. Okay.
So I did use the recommended needles for this hat. Actually, no. I used a 3mm needle for this hat. I actually knit it with the Leica needles. The
fixed ones. That's right.
Yeah, Leica needles, 16-inch. I will say that the needle was a little bit too blunt for this yarn. I needed a sharper needle, like a lace, like a nice lace point on the needle. So I did about halfway through the hat, which thank God you can't tell. I did switch my needles out to a US 2.5 in my interchangeable Chowgoos. But you can't tell the difference in gauge. It looks pretty consistent to me. I just needed a little bit more of a sharpness there because the yarn is pretty lofty. And I believe it's only a 2-ply yarn. So with and this is a good tip too, sometimes you would think a sharper needle would have the tendency to split your yarn. I find it's the opposite for me. A sharper needle actually scoops through both of the plies of the yarn, especially if those plies are not tightly plied.
Yeah. I
find a blunter. It's so crazy out here, guys, watching these gigantic branches just falling down out of the sky. I do find that a blunter needle will tend to split the yarn a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially on that loftier ply. So hopefully that made sense to you. But yeah, I followed everything else. And this hat I love the color. It's right up my alley. Carrie, do you approve of this color? It's neutral, but it's not.
No, it's a really nice.
Like tealy.
Yeah, it's a good green. Like it
tealy blue green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dark teal.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a little color there for you. My other one that I love is a gray.
So
surprise.
Like off topic, but speaking of needles, if y'all didn't see, Chowgoo it looks like it's going to be releasing their Fortes in a 4-inch tip.
Oh, I didn't see that.
They're also going to be releasing square metal needles.
That I saw.
And for your red lace needles, they're going to be releasing connectors that go on the end of your interchangeable cord to make them swivel.
Really?
And I have seen some people, or know some people, who do not like the swivel because they said that the yarn gets, at least on the Forte set,
okay,
that the yarn gets caught a little bit on the where it swivels. And the designer Rostis on Instagram, he addressed that and he said that what he does is he just lifts the cord so that it's even with the needle, and then just slides the yarn right over and typically doesn't have an issue. So
I haven't.
That's a little tip.
Yeah, thanks. I haven't used the swivel cords on anything smaller than like a worsted weight. Okay. Actually, I've only used it, I think, on one project, and that's the project that I'm crocheting. Yeah. So anyway, that's a lot of talking, but I highly recommend the Sockhead slouch. It's really, really a great pattern. And you can there's 2 versions of the pattern, just an FYI. You can download a very simple 1-page version that has, and I can actually show you because it is free, that has just the measurements, very, very simple, especially if you've knit this pattern multiple times like I have. I didn't need the entire pattern. I just needed like how many stitches I needed for the size that I wanted to do, and then how the decreases go. So let's see if I can find it. Sockhead. Yeah. So this is the actual full pattern. So it's 3 pages long, which is not bad at all. And you can either use that full pattern, or you can just, I don't have it actually in here. While you're chatting, I can see if I can pull it up on Ravelry.
Okay. So I'm going to stick with hats and with Red Stag Fiber. So the yarn that I picked once we received it from Red Stag was his Manor Collection, and this is the new worsted weight base. So it's the same makeup, 75% Polworth, 25% Massam, and it's 196 yards for 100 grams. I have the color in Brick Tavern. Wow. And I decided to knit the Harrow hat by Megan Babin, who is the owner of Hudson and West. So this is a really beginner-friendly cabled hat. It's very reminiscent, kind of.
It's so stunning.
Of the antler toque, but different cables. It is knit on you have 3 needle sizes. If you decide to do the tubular cast on, which is what is recommended. So you knit this on a US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter, a US 8, which is that's a lie, a US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter, and then for the tubular cast on, a US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter. Mm-hmm. So here...
It's so good.
...is my hat out of Brick Tavern. Here's the crown.
It's such a rich color.
So here you go. You have a lot of ribbing.
Yeah. It looks like about 4 inches or so.
Yeah. And this is probably what took the most amount of time. If you do not like charts, this may not be the pattern for you.
Okay.
Because the cable section is not written out. Well, that's why.
Yeah, let me hold up
the cable section is only charted.
I love how the cables are coming off of the... That's really clever. How they come up as like a... off of these two next to each other, but then they kind of break off. That's really pretty.
I really, really enjoyed knitting this. It took me... As soon as I figured out the cable pattern, it flew off the needles. I did this in...
Looks really good.
A couple of days. Maybe 2 or 3 days.
I didn't notice that detail. That's really cool. When I open it up like this, like, look at that.
Yeah, it's done really, really well.
Yeah. Oh, and the yarn feels great.
Yeah, this yarn, when I was knitting with it, it was one of those where as it's going through your fingers, you're like, wow, this is really soft.
It's a perfect hat.
So look, yeah, it's so good.
It is really good.
Let's see if you can see the cables.
Yeah.
I really enjoy this. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed working with the yarn. I enjoyed the pattern. I think this is a great beginner cable pattern. I did the whole thing without the cable needle because it's a non-superwash. Your yarn's kind of sticky, so it's a little bit easier to do. Mm-hmm. It's never more than 2K. You're never working with more than 4 stitches for your cable. Mm-hmm. And it is a 6-row repeat, so it moves pretty quickly.
Now, I might have missed it with the tubular cast on.
Yeah.
Because usually tubular cast ons are a 1x1. So this is looks like this 2x2 rib?
Yeah, you do adjust.
So you adjust it.
Yeah, that's one of I think the tubular cast on is 5 rows, and the 5th row is where you...
Cross over those stitches.
Cross over the stitches,
Gotcha.
Which is just like cabling. So again, I just did it without a needle.
Yeah. No, it looks really good. Usually when I have a 1x1 rib, I like a tubular cast on. But sometimes I find that when you go from a 1x1 tubular cast on to doing the 2x2,
and here's
it gets a little bit wonky for me, but yours looks great.
The tubular cast on, and this is a really nice one too. So this is... There's a bunch of different ways that you can do a tubular. This does use waste yarn, and it is doing the yarn over method.
Yeah, I
to
like
do
that
the
method,
tubular,
actually.
which I really enjoy.
Me too.
I think
Megan Babin's patterns, because I did another hat like that, and it was that yarn over method. That was great, and I think I've used that. I used that method on other projects because it was just so easy.
Is it the same method in the Cozy Classic Raglan? I feel like the Cozy Classic has the yarn over method.
Oh, it might.
I feel like it did.
Yeah, it might.
So yeah, if you are looking for a cable hat for worsted weight yarn, I would definitely recommend doing this one. It was a blast in it.
Yeah, it looks great. You got that done pretty quick too.
Yeah,
and you weren't even like fully. Like, you weren't working on that hardcore.
No. I mean, I cast it on this week and bound it off this week.
Yeah.
I think I cast on maybe Tuesday and bound off. I cast on Monday, bound off Thursday.
It's great. How much yarn do you have left? Oh, you showed it already.
Oh, no, I did not show it. I don't know if I have it. I don't. I have maybe 10 grams, if that.
Yeah, I'm not sure where my hat...
But
where mine went to.
So, yeah, really, really good pattern.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Lie. All lies. I have the leftover yarn.
Oh, you have quite a bit left.
I have a ton left. Oh, here's the band.
All right, now we could actually find out what color it is.
Here's the ball bands. Back to me, of course, because I want all the attention. Before I start, this is what I found, what I was talking about with the Sockhead pattern, is that you have either the 3-page version or you have a very, very quick one-page version. So it's got the decreases listed on the side there, and there's your chart, your size chart. So super easy to, once you get going with the pattern, if you knit more than one of these, you don't need all of those pages. So yes, Kevin, you are right. Moray Firth. Here's my ball bands. And this is all the yarn I still have left over. I haven't weighed it, but it's close to 50 grams. It's got to be close to 50 grams.
We don't have a scale.
But you can see...
Oh, and you can check the ply
how
now.
light it is. Yeah, and it looks like it is a 2-ply.
Yeah.
Yep. But you probably can't see. Yeah, you can actually see how loosely plied that is? Kind of?
Right. So
right? So that's where I was saying when you're knitting with it, it's easier for that blunt needle to not go all the way through the yarn and split the plies.
Yeah.
Because it's a very springy yarn, which is great. But that's been my experience. But I would happily knit with this yarn again. It was really, really nice.
All right, you're up.
Am I? All right.
Yeah, because you have one more FO?
I have one more FO. Okay, guys.
Oh, I was trying to think what it is. Now I know.
There's a little story here, too. My mom and I chatted, and we decided that I am not going... Whoa, that was a huge one. Thank God there was a rope tied to that one. That would have gone all over the place.
Yeah, and I just saw all the trees on this side shake. Sorry. Yeah. We're so distracted today.
How exciting, though. It's like the Indy 500, right, Kate? I'm just kidding.
No, she doesn't watch Indy 500.
Oh, sorry. Beg your pardon.
That's not F1.
What F1? I don't know what that means. So, okay, so my mom and I chatted. Remember, my plan was to knit those cute little bunny rabbits.
No, you weren't going to knit them. You were going to
crochet them. Yes, thank you. I was going to crochet those cute little bunny rabbits that looked so great in the picture. Let me just give you a little...
No, yours actually looks
Mine looks okay, I guess. It kind of looks a little bit like a dog. Okay, so I finished one, and they ended up turning out... It ended up turning out a little bit larger than we expected. We thought they were going to be a little bit smaller creations.
Just out of curiosity, does the pattern have the dimensions of the finished product?
I'm sure.
Project?
Oh, I'm sure it does. 23 centimeters tall, 9 inches tall. Mine is certainly a lot taller than 9 inches.
Yes.
We also used super bulky yarn as opposed to just... it is a super bulky. I don't know. My crochet tension is a little bit... or gauge is a little bit looser. So things are a little bit bigger. Okay, so here's what I have already done. I used... Loops and Threads, Sweet Snuggles Light. It's 100% polyester yarn, and the color is SK20. So it's this like greeny color here, greenish color. I don't have very much left. This is all I have left, and in bulky yarn, this is probably 30 yards, maybe something like that. All right, here it is. Now, it didn't do any, like the little, what's it called? That ribbon in its hair and stuff. I did crochet a bow, but I threw it away because it was interfering. So here it is. Here it is. I think it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
I think the nose looks a little wonky. Now, it's completely you can do whatever you do. Whenever you make amigurumi, you just do you, boo, right? It's the same as when I do like my needle felting. They all have their own personalities. You don't need to, you can take a left turn, right? And go wherever you need to go. So, what I did not do in the pattern, that I wish that I did do, was stuff the schnoz. Like you're supposed to stuff the muzzle, but I didn't. So then I decided to embroider. I decided to embroider the nose.
Instead of what? Because the nose was embroidered in the pattern, it looked like.
No, the nose, it's one of those safety noses. So you can get safety eyes and safety noses. So we did get safety eyes. Here's looking at you, kid. There's my embroidered nose, and I did a little like smile underneath. But I think that this snarly looking part makes him look like a little bit like a doggy bunny.
I think two things. I think the eyes could have been bigger.
Yeah, these are the biggest eyes that I had.
Oh, were they really?
Yeah.
And maybe a little wider, like further apart.
Further apart. Okay.
Because he's pretty beady-eyed right now.
Yeah. So, my mother is going. This guy's gonna hang out, or girl, I don't know. They are gonna hang out on my mother's like bed, I guess she said, which I think is really cute. It's super squishy. The pattern was very, very easy to follow because his little tail. Was very, very easy to follow. You crochet the arms and the legs first, and then you do the body, which is basically like this egg shape. And then you do the ears, then the snout, and then the tail. And then you put it all together.
I mean, it is cute.
It's cute. I'm not the best at sewing things together. Afterwards, it's never been like my thing. I think I am getting a little bit better at it. However, the placement of the legs should have been back a little bit, because in the picture you just see like maybe this part of the leg kind of sitting out, so that he can, I mean, he definitely sits like no problem. You can't really see that, but he definitely sits.
Why does he have glitter?
Where?
I just saw glitter. We still have glitter in the house from Christmas.
No glitter is allowed in our house anymore for Christmas. The kids, there was glitter all over the kids, like Christmas gifts and wrapping paper and all that other stuff. Mom, just kidding. I love you.
Who created glitter? They should.
Yeah. So the pattern is linked down below in our show notes. It's an Etsy pattern, so the link is there. I cannot find anything on Ravelry or anywhere else to get the pattern, so it is linked down below. And it's really just called, I believe, like the Easter Bunny, Crochet Pattern Easter Bunny by Crochet Trend. I couldn't find it anywhere else. I'm trying to like, so that you don't have the glare, but that's that. We had Delusions of Grandeur. So I'm going to be sending this along with all of the extra yarn that my mom had purchased so that she can add to her craft room. But, kind of cute.
Yeah, no, it is.
I don't know if it looks like a bunny. Does it look like a bunny?
Kind of.
It does from this.
It's like a bunny dog.
It's a bunny dog.
What was that?
Wascally Wabbit.
No, what was that cartoon? Oh, okay. Let's go back for a moment. If you guys remember, a couple episodes ago, I talked about my Litmus cowl and how it reminded me of a game that I used to play as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Some of you came through. You guys are fantastic. The name of the game was Load Runner.
Yeah.
But now, calling that a dog bunny reminds me of a cartoon when we were kids where the animals were combinations of two. Like a kangaroo and a bee.
What was
and
that?
Like,
that sounds slightly familiar. Yeah.
And it's not... I don't know. Okay, either way. So let's talk about my third FO.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is the last one.
Love this.
Finished my cast on of... I'm a month behind. These were my February socks that I cast on from Woolens and Nosh. Mm-hmm. This was the January club for 2025 called If Hybernating is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right. And I absolutely love
I do too.
This colorway. I did a 2x1 rib following a pattern for this cuff from Summer Lee's sock book. I think it's called Sock Project.
The Sock Project.
Yes.
Yep.
I knit these on a US 1, a 2.25 millimeter needle. I did 16 rounds of the ribbing, and then I switched into the self-striping. I placed my stitch markers here for my heel. Did an afterthought heel. 3 rounds of knitting before I started my decreasing.
That's loud.
And my decreasing is, I do the SSK, knit 2 together, and then knit around. My leg is, I think it's 8.5 inches.
That's a nice long leg.
My foot is 5.5.
Yep.
And then I do the toe the same way as I do my heel, with the exception I don't do 3 additional rounds of knitting. Mm-hmm. And the reason I do the 3 additional rounds is I have a high arch.
Yeah.
So it gives me just a little more fabric on the top of my foot there. And that is that. And this is what I have left. That's a lot of yarn.
It is a lot of yarn. And you used a lot of your yarn.
And where's my, and this is what I have left of the mini.
Yeah.
So this is quite a bit left for doing, I mean, it's quite a long leg, 8.5 inch leg.
Yeah. You know, I'm wondering if, I'm going to ask my mom, I know we can use the scraps for sure, but I wonder if she would like to have, if we have a lot left over, to do some self-striping. Yeah. I don't know if she has a lot of self-striping yarn. So I know she likes it.
That is my final FO.
Yeah. Oh, and there were a couple of questions when last week when I held up the skein of yarn that Michelle had sent me because I loved this one so much. That was, somebody had asked what the name of that colorway was. So we just talked about it, but I think it's great. If hibernating is wrong, I don't want to be right. So just whoever, if you're listening.
And I don't think we replied to the comment as of yet. And I remember seeing one.
We had a ton of comments.
Well, that's because we had the giveaway in the last episode,
right?
Too.
Which, remember, we're not drawing winners this time. We're drawing winners next week. The next video.
So we had talked in the previous episode about doing a bullet heel, and a bullet heel.
Oh yeah,
no, bullseye. Sorry, bullseye heel.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you have to do to get that effect. You do an afterthought heel, and you do your heel with the self-striping yarn, and it creates it because you're. How many stitches? Oh, you have the same number of stitches on the
You have
needles.
half the number of stitches. No, you have the same number.
Yeah, you have the same number to start. Mm-hmm. So your stripes are just done in the heel, and it gives it a
little section here.
It gives it a bullseye effect. So if you do an afterthought heel and you want the bullseye effect, just do your heel with your self-striping yarn.
Yep. Pick a color that you want to start with, and make sure that you can start it on, if you want the socks to match on both sides. And then start at that color, like at the beginning of that color.
Yes. And that is all the FOs.
Great. I really love those socks.
I know. They're really good.
I really do.
I think I'm going to pivot for the rest for the spring and summer months. And I think I'm going to pivot and start doing some shorties because I do enjoy wearing them with my Birks.
Yeah.
And I only have 2 pair of shorties at the moment. So I think that's how I'm going to handle my socks.
I only have 2 pairs of shorties as well. And I think that's a really good point. My shorties I knit a long time ago, like before I think I mastered my own sock recipe. So I'm gonna do my next pair as shorties and see how they go.
All right. But I might do that today. All right, so let's move on to whips. You have 3 and I have 2, so you go first.
All
please.
right. So you know what? Let's pull this one. This is an oldie. It's been on the needles for a little while. This is living in my Oh Wow Amsterdam bag that we got from Skein Yarn Shop. Each one of these bags, if you don't know, is designed specifically for individual yarn shops. And I believe you can only purchase these bags from those yarn shops.
Correct.
And so this happens to be one of the polka dot ones. I don't know what the name of it is.
I think it's
Skein
called...
still does carry this... they're hand painted.
Yes, they are
on there, so you can definitely feel a little bit of a difference when you're touching it. That was like it was applied by hand, and it's a great little bag. Okay, so this is the Litmus cowl,
by Jude Harper.
Right? Yep. I was gonna pull up the pattern so that you can see. And it's just a simple tube that you knit, and then you just do a 3 needle bind off, I think, or a Kitchener maybe.
Kitchener.
The 2 ends of the tube together, and you create a circular cowl that you can wrap over once or twice, or whatever. And I thought it would be great to just use some leftover, and these were 3 full skeins.
Are they
Woolens
really?
and Nosh. Yeah, I'll give my leftovers to my mother. So anyway, I was using...
Are you sure?
100% positive.
You did 3 full skeins of Woolens and Nosh?
Well, I pulled them out. I've used 50 grams of 2 of them so far.
Okay.
So I'll have 50 grams left over of all 3 of them.
Okay.
My intention was to use them all and then just kind of like wrap it around a bunch of times, but it's getting quite long, so that's not what I'm doing. Okay, so here's what I have. I did make some significant progress.
Oh, that's right, because one of them is one of my favorite skeins that somebody gave me their leftovers for. This one.
But I have the full one. I'm not using your leftovers, right?
No, I'm saying because you were using it, and I was so disappointed because I really like that color, because that's something like...
You can have 50 grams of it.
No, it's great. A viewer was very generous and gave me some at Rhinebeck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, so here's what I have so far. I have no idea what the colorways are. Maybe you know. I believe. So here, I just picked up the third skein. This is the colorway here. I believe this is Wes Anderson style.
Yeah, that
with the pink.
Yes, that's Wes
Anderson style. And that's from January 2024. I used the mini from one of them here. And then I did 50 grams of... This is a rooster or something, I think.
Yeah, this one is called Free to a Good Home, One Friendly Rooster.
Yep. Then the other half of the skein here. And then this one...
is our seasonal offering. House-made butternut squash ravioli with a brown butter and sage cream sauce.
Yep. And then this is the corresponding mini with that one. So my plan is, because this is getting... Oh, you know what? I probably could do all 3.
I would do all 3.
Full. It's going to be quite full. Because like right now, if I were to pull this together, it would be, it would still be really be cute.
But then you could wrap it twice.
Yeah, I want to wrap it at least twice.
So, and what you could do is you could go reverse order, right? So you could do your 50 grams of this color.
Yep.
Do the other part of the mini.
Well, I have to go with a darker mini.
Okay.
I have to go with this
so
mini.
This would be my suggestion.
Yep.
Would be 50 grams of
50
this.
50 of that. This.
That.
50 of this again.
And then... then the rest of this, this.
I don't have any more of this stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. But I see what you're saying. I could definitely make it work. You know what? It's kind of cool. So I don't know if this necessarily go all together, but I think it's really cool if you're just looking at the stripe sizes of the stripes, because these have thin stripes here. Then you have a solid block, you have larger stripes, solid block, and then these are thin stripes, because already you can see that they'll be thinner here. Yeah, I don't know if you can really tell, but I just started that. And that brown in there is only one. It's only one row.
Okay.
Because now I'm on this color.
Yeah.
So it's, you know what it is? You're just stocking it in the round.
Yep.
And it's on larger needles as well. So for those who can't do the 9-inch circular needles, you want to use these. I'm using, and I'll be honest with you, I really prefer the Addies fixed circular needles.
I think
over anything else.
I would use an Addy.
They're on the clear cord.
Yeah, the clear cord I don't enjoy. I don't mind a fixed.
In a fixed, I'm fine with it.
I don't mind it for a hat.
Yeah. This is a 3.5 millimeter needle on a 16-inch fixed circular. This is where I was. So I knit this, this much.
Very
so
nice.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm happy that I am into this next skein, so I'd love to see the 3 of them together. I guess I did do the names. I guess we did. We're able to figure out the names.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. That's those names.
But these are the minis that I have left. So I really have technically 3 sections.
I mean,
of
I
minis.
would not,
I know, but...
No, I'm saying I would not be surprised that if we didn't have something similar to those other 2 colors somewhere.
So I think that'll be nice, and I think you're right. I think doing them all now that I'm seeing it, I think that'll be a really cool thing. Because even if you want to have it hanging down,
you could even use like this one.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
You know, like we have a bunch.
Yeah. So that is that's whip number 1 for me, and I just picked that back up the other day because we've been watching a really good show.
We have. All right, so this is my first whip. This is in my Paradise Island bag, pear like the fruit. And this is you guys are sick of seeing it.
No, it's so good. I can look at this every day.
This is my okay. Sorry. Whatchamacallit.
This is your
Jelly Roll
Blanket
by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. I'm knitting it with fingering weight yarn on double pointed needles. These are the Knitter's Pride Dreams. My very first set of interchangeable needles were these, and my first set of DPNs. So here we are.
Here we go. Here we go. One more time. Everybody's feeling fine. Here we go now.
So I was here last time you guys saw it, and I just knit on this over the past 2 days.
Yeah.
So
it's nice making being able to. This is honest to God. It's so stunning.
Thanks.
And you've not been very picky about the next colors.
I'm not picky about the colors.
You're winning the lottery over here, kid.
I'm not. I'm just grabbing stuff. I have in this. You can see these are the colors that I'm going through next. So I'm just grabbing one. I am trying to be a little mindful about the weight. So I'm trying to not pick mini skeins or leftovers that have more than 20 grams. So I do weigh them. If it's more than 20 grams, it's out and I'm not using it. I don't want that big of a stripe. Like this one, I was kind of concerned with this gray because I still do have a decent amount left. And I already did a really large chunk.
You can always add it later on.
So I may break it and... I'll probably just keep going. Why have another end? You know?
Sure.
But it's really simple. It's garter stitch.
It's getting there. It's looking like it's a blanket. It's looking like a blanket.
Oh, I just lost all my stitches.
No, is that my fault?
No, it's probably mine. Because I don't have stitch stoppers on.
Well, luckily there's only, 20 stitches or something like that?
Actually, this round...
Well, this one...
No. Good.
You sure?
Yeah, this one I did wrong, and I only, for some reason, I'm hoping I did it wrong, and I didn't drop a stitch somewhere. I only did 19 by accident, so this is going to be one thinner than the rest.
You just add one on there.
No, but the whole thing's, I think, only 19.
Oh.
So, so this is... I think it's going to have at least double the width, at least.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, it's so good.
Maybe even more. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think I'm going to go... I might do 18.
It really does look like you've artfully placed and was very, methodical about your yarn choices.
And
because it's
at all.
It's like that organized chaos almost. It's so good.
Not at all.
It's really...
And it's fun going back and seeing... Actually, a lot of this is your yarn from your Brioche Adventure Wrap.
Yeah.
A lot of this...
I used a lot of yarn for that.
I know Yarn Cafe Creations. This whole section was Riley's sweater.
Oh, yeah.
Some of it's this is avocado toast.
That's a good one from Amanda Knits.
Yeah. Some of it's mine. This is Felici here.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, it's fun.
Great.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Actually, this is from some socks. It's one of my favorite pair of socks, too.
Yeah. And that's where you did the
3x1 rib.
Mm-hmm. And then you used the variegated yarn for heels, toes, and cuffs.
Yeah, so it's a nice pattern. If you
Yeah.
guys want, I will say I probably wouldn't do a fingering weight again. A fingering weight blanket takes a long time. I would go DK.
I'm doing a DK version. I haven't touched it in...
And then this way you actually
Months and
could
months.
hold, like I could have held this double to get a DK weight, done it on a US like 6 or 7, and Bob's your uncle, as they say.
As they say. All right, cool. Next up on my list...
Actually, with that really quick
Sorry,
though,
I'm so sorry.
I am not using the joining method that Kay Jones recommends. When I forget, I go to Kay Litton's
Yeah.
Ravelry page
Yeah.
and go to her project notes, and she says how she did the join. It's literally all you do is when you get to the end of the row and you have one stitch left on your left needle, I take my right needle, I pick up the stitches, both legs of the V from the salvage edge of the previous stripe. I pick it up this way, so I go through them. I don't pick from back to front, I guess. Like I don't go left to right, I go right to left to pick it up, put it on my left hand needle, and knit those two together. And that's all I do. Yes, that's
It looks great. It really does.
So that's it for that one.
Okay. My next project, I made a little bit of progress on my my blanket, my Tunisian crochet blanket. This is the Hudson Tassel Throw by Tony Lipsy. It's a really beautiful honeycomb stitch Tunisian crochet. It's very, very simple pattern. I've opted to not do the tassels. And it calls for a bulky weight yarn and a size 8mm crochet hook, Tunisian crochet hook. And yeah, here's what I have. So I'm using Barocco Vintage Bulky. I think that's what it's called. I just want to see. I don't have the...
Don't you have the bag right there?
Yeah. Vintage Chunky. It's Barocco Vintage Chunky. The colorway that I'm using is Smoke. So here is what I have so far. And I did I think I did a decent amount.
Yeah.
You know, this is where I was. So I put another few inches on this. Another full skein into it. I love it. I think it's going to look really cool. It's going to be super cozy. I don't really have much to say about it. It's just the same stitches back and forth. The honeycomb stitch is really, really easy to do. It doesn't have a hole there, is it? No. And, you know, I'm loving Tunisian crochet. I think it's very, like, therapeutic. You get into a rhythm of it. It's very rhythmic. Maybe not therapeutic. It's very rhythmic. And these, I am using the interchangeable Chowgu crochet hooks, but I'm using the swivel cord from my Forte set that I have, the 30-inch swivel cord. And I find that the swivel cord works, it's almost needed for me. For the Tunisian crochet.
Yeah.
So it's just so much easier just to kind of get your stitches through, especially the return pass. On the non-swivel cord, I had a little bit of trouble with those originally on my shawl that I did. But yeah, I think it's just a gray
Blanket.
But I think it's going to be lovely. And it's just like, it feels so nice. And the vintage chunky Barocco vintage it's got wool, nylon, and
Is it polyester or acrylic?
it might be acrylic. It's machine washable, which is great. So it's 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. So, and this is the colorway. I think it is Smoke, right?
Yes, it is
Smoke. 6106. There you go. Vintage Chunky. And that's it. It's living in Is this a Tanny Casey bag? Yep. This is a Tanny Casey bag that I got in Boston. I love her bags. I love the style bag. If you were to come downstairs with me next to my couch or on my couch, they're all like bucket bags. And then I have my projects. I have like little projects in their bags, like
in the buckets.
A bag in the bucket.
Yeah. They're nice to have.
Yeah, they're
love
great.
a good bucket bag.
I love it. My absolute fave.
Okay.
All right.
My last whip is a new spin. This is some fiber that I picked up from Into the World at either Rhinebeck or Fiber Festival of New England. I don't recall which one. I think Rhinebeck. The colorway is called Welcome to Litchfield. It is 100% BFL. This is the braid prior to me splitting it. It's quite blown out. But we have some peachy orange, gray, and...
I love the idea that you're taking a picture prior to you...
Hold on, let's lower...
Prior to you starting.
Better? That's a little more... Yeah, that's more accurate.
That's good. Yeah.
So, I do have some here. So, and guys, I love that you guys love me showing some fiber. So many of you have reached out. People were very helpful with... some comments that I had last week about my plying and what could have caused some of the coiling kind of thing that I was seeing and ways to make sure that I was trying to get a fingering weight to ply and what my WPI wraps per inch should be on my singles. So here's where I'm at currently. This is half of the braid. And this is what I have left. So you can see I mainly have the gray currently. There is some of that peachy orange underneath it. But it is...
You can see a little bit of it popping through over there. Yeah.
It's mainly gray and white.
Yep.
That you're seeing. But I do have a large chunk of that peachy orange coming up.
That's going to be so cool.
I'm trying to get this... spun. This is my Daedalus Starling Trixie, which I purchased at Rhinebeck this past year.
Maybe one day you'll have a magpie to go with it.
Maybe. So I am trying to keep my WPI for the single somewhere around like in the 50 range.
Can you tell the folks who don't know what WPI means?
It's wraps per inch.
There you go.
So for that single, how many times would it wrap around something
to create it
for 1 inch?
Yeah, like how we use to measure like yarn weight if you don't know.
So I think I'm getting there when I'm doing my ply back.
It's very thin.
It looks like I'm getting somewhere around a fingering weight. Granted, once this is washed and like once it's plied and then washed and set, I did read something recently on a document that somebody sent me that the fiber will plump up enough that you get like by 25%. So it would increase the... What's the word I'm looking for?
The weight of the yarn?
Not the
or
weight,
the thickness of the yarn?
The grist. So the thickness of it. So that's...
There's so many different languages when it comes to crafts, right?
I know. Remember before you started knitting how everything was a different language for you? Like knit together, SSK.
When we went into Knit New Haven for the first time together, I honestly thought, I don't know what you're talking about. You and...
I remember leaving...
Whoever you were talking to, whoever was in this shop at the time, I'm like, oh, what? And I wish I could be a fly on the wall to know exactly what you had said, but it was a completely different language.
I remember leaving it and you were like befuddled.
But completely.
By what we talked about. You had no idea.
I didn't know you had it in you. I had no idea. I'm like, here I am living with a bilingual husband. I have no idea. Yeah, no, it was...
maybe we are bilingual.
Crazy. Well, we are,
like, craft talk is another language.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw a TikTok the other day, and it says, if you're a nurse, you're bilingual. And then it had, like, what we use...
Well, yes.
To, like, in our notes and things like that. And, easily can, like, read them. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true.
Yeah, because you had me try to read, like, something for one of your classes.
I did do that one time.
I have no idea what any of this is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all right, so that's all my whips. That's all I've worked on.
Nice.
Oh, it's been a week.
It's only been a week.
We've done a good amount in a week.
We certainly have.
We better really show up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, watch us have nothing in 2 weeks.
Not a damn thing.
We're taking the 2 weeks off. Okay, so the next project that I have is not going to look like I put a lot on it. I assure you, I put so much work into this project.
He did.
I did. And noticed last night about 8:30 p.m. that I effed it all up. Not all of it.
Not all of it.
I effed up a lot of it.
It's a...
Okay.
No, go ahead.
So this is living in my another beautiful Tanny Casey bag. This is probably one of my favorite printed bags with the little sheeps. I love the curly cues that this one has.
Yeah.
I think this is a Rhinebeck purchase.
No, that was Cake Palooza.
Yeah, Cake Palooza. Okay, so I made a ton of progress on my Wild Horses cardigan by Ann Hansen. And then I also removed all of the progress, almost, that I put on said cardigan. So this is a fingering weight cardigan. I've been talking about this, I think, for the past umpteen years, and you're probably sick and tired of me talking about it and seeing it in the same condition. But this is... Oh, there's my work phone going off. This is Wild Horses. I'll be brief about this, and then I'll call them back. So it is either a cardigan, or you can have a, you can do a crew neck version. If you all remember, I'm knitting my front panels 2 at a time. I'll show you where I have, those. Oh, thanks. So I'm knitting these panels 2 at a time. I was here last time we chatted. So I put about 2.5 inches there. And then what I did, because at that point I was ready to I was ready to do my sleeve shaping and then the V-neck shaping for when this comes in like this. This is actually the left side. So you would do your sleeve shaping on this side and then your V-neck shaping over here. I had done all of that. I completed my sleeve shaping. I've completed all of the V-neck shaping. And then I was ready to bind off the shoulder stitches, right? And I'm like, geez, my count is way off. And I was really, really good. I put stitch marker every time I did a decrease, everywhere. And so this thing had stitch markers dangling all over. I was very good. And I knit an additional about 8 inches on both panels. And then I'm like, why does this not make sense to me? Then I looked at the pattern again, and there was one line that I missed right before the armhole shapings that says bind off X number of stitches before starting your So I had to rip all of that back out. I think I took a picture.
He was not happy last night.
I was not a happy camper.
He said, well, I'm going to get it back to where it needs to be, and then this is going back in hibernation.
So there you can see where I picked up the stitches again before ripping that out. Now that's on both sides of both panels. And look at all those stitch markers. I did a lot of work. But here's the thing. I threw my temper tantrum, but it only lasted 3 minutes, right? It didn't last very long. Because I'm like, I blamed Kevin for everything, of course. And then...
You guys should have heard it.
Oh, it was... I said, you said, because and again, I did, before starting the sleeve shaping, I said, can we go over this just so I'm not missing anything. Now, here's the thing about Knit Spot patterns and Ann Hansen's patterns. They're very, very well written, but a lot of times there are multiple versions of the sweater. You can do with a crew neck, you could do with a V-neck, you could do a pullover, you could do a cardigan, and all of that information is all there. So there's a lot of text in the actual pattern, right? Not that it's a bad thing, not that it's a whatever. There's just a lot of text. And then she preps you before the actual instructions of what you're doing with all the different things and what you should know about or whatever. And so I wanted to make sure that I was going to be, what I was reading was correct. Because there was a point in the pattern, and I should have known, he knew, but I didn't make the connection. I wasn't verbalizing. So there's a section that says continue your armhole decreases until you're in 1 inch from your armhole bind off. And then you start your V-neck decreases kind of simultaneously. So I said, like, so I'm starting my own armhole decreases, but it's saying like from a bind off, but I don't see a bind off anywhere. That was a big one. Did you hear him screaming like woohoo?
He gets really excited,
Yeah.
one of the guys.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job with their controlled descent. So anyway, I was like, is the bind off? No, I know that that's not true. But I was like, is the bind off like the decreases? Is that is she counting that as a bind off?
No, you said she's calling the bind off decreases.
Something like that.
I was like, well, yeah, by binding, and I said, yes, by binding off, you are decreasing the number of stitches.
So then I said, okay, I guess I'm going to measure that 1 inch from like my first decrease. That's technically the armhole bind off, but that's not accurate in the slightest.
No.
So anywho, long story short, threw me completely off. After my temper tantrum though, I was a good boy. I put the panels back on the needles, had a little struggle because I missed, like I started going up on an angle, but whatever. It's all fixed. It's all great. And I actually did the initial bind off on both panels. And so now I'm primed, ready to start my decreases.
Or is it going in hibernation?
No. It was last night.
Oh, tonight.
Sure
today
as shit,
not.
it was going in hibernation.
I know.
Today it's not. It's back.
Okay.
I think it's going to be back into rotation. I really would love to have it done. And honestly, I'm now...
Once that's done, you're halfway done with your...
Then I have to do the sleeves.
2/3 of the way done.
Yeah. Then I have to do the sleeves. Then I have to block everything. Then I have to seam it and then
Yep.
attach the sleeves. And then do the button, I think, and then do the ribbing after it's put together. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
So here's the lesson that Kevin told me last night when I wasn't really prepared to hear it. But please read your pattern, folks.
We've all done it.
Yeah, we have. And again, big picture, like I didn't throw a temper tantrum, like throw the things out of whatever. I was just like, oh my God, that was more than, that was like 12 hours of knitting.
And then you just pouted on the couch.
No, I went like this. Ugh. And that was what I did. And that's pouting, but it's not, I've been worse.
Yes. Yes.
So,
I'm done knitting. I'm never knitting again.
I didn't say that.
No, you have said that before.
I have said that before.
I think the same thing about crochet.
Yeah. And here we are.
Yep. So that is all the FOs and whips.
Yeah, that's all of our works. Listen, I think for a week we did pretty good.
I don't think we have any owl post.
No.
Just breaking the bank.
Breaking the bank.
I broke the bank.
You did break the bank.
I broke it.
Yeah,
Shattered.
You did. Yeah, I just had a small deposit or a small withdrawal.
Okay. So then I guess I should go. So, well, here's the thing.
While you're doing that, I just want to check my work phone.
Two of these are clubs. So, I got my March 2025 fiber shipment from Into the World. This colorway is called Reckless Disco. It's 4 ounces, and this is... I have no idea what this is. Exmoor Horn? What the heck is Exmoor Horn? Let's Google that. Exmoor? Horn. Sheep. Oh, look at this little cutie. That's a sheep that it comes from. I've never even heard of this, but look at the color. So we got some burgundies. No, I'm going to go mauve. We're more mauve-y. Some teals and blues and whites. Let's open it up and feel it. I've never seen any fiber from this. Oh, yeah, that's fiber. This is rough. That feels a little rough. So that's cool. That'll be interesting to spin. I'll have to pull out one of this book, and learn about this fiber, because I have no idea what it is. But, oh, and there's some gray in here too. And some more of that kind of like peachy color. And that's kind of what I like about this club. It's a monthly club. I think it's $24, $26. And you get an unknown color and an unknown breed every month. So you get to try new things. So that's fun. And then we also received, and I'm taking this one because Ray and I alternate on the Woolens and Nosh monthly sock club. So this is March 2025, and this is the Muses. So we have some purples and pinks, some corally. It looks like a minty green, maybe. Or no, maybe more like a Kelly green. Oh no, maybe a mint, some gray. So this, I will probably do... I already have a skein set aside for my socks that I was supposed to knit this month. These would be my April socks. So these will be some shorties.
Shorties?
And then this I talked about last week. Is I signed up for the Ply Magazine quarterly subscription. So I got my first one called
really
References, which I haven't looked into yet. And then...
Our backyard is a disaster, by the way.
I also purchased the book Twist from Michelle Boyd, so I can learn more about Twist.
That whole book is about how, like, Twist?
Just about, yeah, like...
Wow.
How... Let's see if we can find an
What
image.
a cool, like, background to understand.
Let's see if we can find
A lot of drop
something
spindles, huh? Oh, different types. Spinning wheels.
So, here's one. This shows, if I can get this to show right, this shows on the left-hand side of this image a short forward drafted yarn, and the other one shows a short backward drafted.
And what the
And
finished yarn
it's
looks
just
like?
showing you, like...
So the forward draft looks
Tighter.
much cleaner.
Yeah, this looks cleaner knit up as opposed to this one.
Yeah, blocking will fix that probably. But...
No, that they would
is it
show.
blocked, you
Yeah,
think?
I would think they would show it blocked. So yeah, just to kind of get a
Really neat.
idea of
Yeah.
like maybe when you should use one type of drafting, when to like over twist or under twist or whatever it is.
Really
Like here's
cool.
another example of like the same yarn spun different ways.
Huh.
And then my last purchase
But wait, there's more.
was from Red Stag Fiber yesterday.
Yeah.
I purchased a sweater's quantity of the worsted weight yarn so that I could knit up a So Basic.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, you want to do
A single malt by Max and Sear.
Yeah.
So this again is the worsted base that I just used in the hat. And this is Dun Eden. Would you say Dun Eden?
Done.
Maybe.
Ideen? Yeah, done. I don't know.
This is the
Dunedin?
colorway.
We should have
So I
asked.
have 6 skeins of this to do this single malt with. And that are my purchases.
Fantastic. I made a purchase. Oh, I don't have it in here. Really interested. Oh, yes, I do. I made a purchase as well from Red Stag. He has this base that is just, I thought, is absolutely stunning in fingering weight. It is so soft. There was a sample there that had such a nice drape on it. This is the Dacus sock base. It's 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, which is why it has that beautiful drape, and 10% nylon. And I got 3 skeins of this beautiful color called Scottish Sunset. It's a really nice, like, golden
It's like a wheat color.
I was going to say that, like a wheat color.
Yeah.
And it's actually showing up pretty true on camera to what this is. And I thought that this would really make a beautiful Paris Toujours. I'm inspired by Michael, our friend Michael from Upland Fiber Co. He's working on a Paris Toujours in his one of his newer bases, I believe. It's a DK base.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and it looks so good. And we had both done Paris Toujours, and I really love that shawl. But there is you could do a fingering weight as well. And I thought the delicate nature of like this yarn and the color with like a fingering weight, I thought it would look really, really nice. This is a DK version, by the way. And I thought it would look really, really cool in that color. Because I don't really have anything in it. Like, for a single color shawl, I think it would look really cool.
Yes.
You know, especially with those, like, that lacy look. So,
yeah, I love the Paris Toujours. I thought.
Yeah, it was it's an easy pattern, too.
And I know we talk about this all the time. One of the reasons I remember knitting it is that one of the images on the project page in Ravelry has a male wearing it. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'll knit it.
Yep, agreed. So I got 3 skeins of the yarn. I think you only need like 920
It's
grams.
just under 1,000 grams.
950, something like that. Each one of these, the yardage is 437 yards per 100 grams. So I'll have plenty of yarn with a little bit left over.
You know what you could do with the leftover is you can make a sockhead slouch.
I was thinking about that, actually.
Yeah,
I
you
really
could probably
was.
do that and have another solid
but I don't know.
But even for a gift, you know?
Yeah, sockhead's a commitment because it's a lot of.
You could crank a tube and make socks out of it.
That's a great idea. I would love to try this.
Do you think
it has the nylon in it?
Yeah, it would be a good. And the yak, I think. Yeah. So yeah, you could crank a tube and make socks.
That's a great idea. Yeah, we'll see what I have left over after this. So I'm not sure when I'm going to start this project, but I think that this is going to be. I think it's going to be cool.
Are you going to put it in a project bag with a note on it so that you know what it's supposed to be with like all your other ones?
I have
the bin of them.
Yeah, once I get through my whips this year,
once I'm done knitting in 2025,
I will start pulling. Yeah, I will start pulling in 2026. I will start pulling from that bin to determine what I want to do next, and kind of maybe I'll do some random pulls. But I have. So, I want to start soon. Let's see, I've got to start the April socks because tomorrow is March 31st. Tomorrow, I have to cake that up so that I can cast that on for April. So I have my April socks. I'd love to be able to... And then I also need to start... I would like to start the vest for Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
And then...
I mean, that's not much.
Well, and then I also want to finish my cardigan, and I actually want to finish the Stephen West shawl that I have almost done. I think I just have Clue 4 to do.
I don't remember, to be honest, where you are. It's been a really long time, I feel like, since you've knit.
I know. So, and my blanket's just going to be what I pull up.
All right. So I just want to say, I forgot while we were picking up every stitch, I got to, so Ray was off chatting.
I did say hello to her.
But I got to chat with
I didn't
Samantha Guerin, who's the designer of Grid Gambit. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to spin for this.
Yeah.
And because I've seen so many of them, and it would be perfect. It's perfect for handspun.
Mm-hmm. Listen, if you all have never been to Pick Up Every Stitch during a trunk show, they always have like a treat or some like food. There was delicious cheesecake.
Like this one's so dark and moody. I like that.
Yeah.
So I think what I might do is do some handspun.
That's really nice.
Of mine, and then maybe for my main color, I'll use some of my like.
Oh, that's cool.
Needles at the Ready DK that's already dyed up.
That lady is
in
sweet.
a tonal. So yeah, so it was really nice to get to. I feel that we've seen each other before, but we got to chat for a little bit, so that was really fun.
Yeah. Where was I chatting with other people?
You were out. You were you were chatting with a lady by the Dawkins sock base thing.
Oh my gosh, I wish I got your name and I totally didn't. I met another nurse who is doing a lot of really amazing work that I am so inspired by and that I would really love to be able to do. And I don't think I told you. We were chatting.
No, we haven't talked since we left.
She has been completely silent the last 24 hours in this household. There goes the chainsaw by itself down the rope.
They're going to put more gas in it.
Yeah. So what she's doing is she's partnering with a PhD, another, I don't know if they're a nurse or just another PhD. Anyway, they're partnering at their hospital to provide knitting classes for the nurses, and they pulled all this research to show how much knitting can help with mental fatigue and burnout and all of these other things. And for those who know about CEU, so they're continuing education units or credits that you can get, and as nurses or any profession of that nature, physicians also do that, PT can do it too, so those licensed personnel. So in order to maintain your certifications or to qualify for additional certifications, you need to have a certain number of continuous education credits, because they always want us to continue to learn and do new things and take part in all of those things. So they were able to apply for and get these knitting classes, and the time that they spend together, they qualify for CEUs. So the nurses can then apply to get these can then get these credits and use them towards some of their certifications and stuff. And so far they've made balaclavas and hats and shawls and all these different things that they're then, and newborn newborn hats for like the newborn ICU or whatnot. And I just thought it was really special, and that they meet, they do it all together, and these nurses just learned how to knit, and as part of this class, she was teaching these classes at the hospital, which I thought was really special. Yeah. It was a really cool conversation. Again, I'm so sorry I did not get your name. I was just so enthralled. Like, we just immediately started chatting. But it was great. I would love to do something like that where you're smirking. So
no, I was smirking. No, kind of, yes, but not because of that. But I'm watching you. So for those who don't know, and I wonder this sometimes, because when we're recording, we don't often actually look at each other, because our camera is front facing, so we see each other on screen. So I watch him through the screen as he's talking.
Yeah, I watch you through the screen.
Right, but we don't when we watch other podcasts. Sometimes they actually look at each other when they're speaking.
I don't want to look at you.
Done with you. But
what? Spit it out.
We also have a grid, and as you were just talking about that, the line was just right down your face. You were perfectly centered in it, so it was really funny to see.
So that's all. I'm perfect. Right, Justine? Anyway, I thought that was really special. It was a cool visit.
Yeah,
it was a
good time.
Yeah. So sorry I didn't get a chance to chat with you guys, but
all right. So that we could actually keep this at a normal length, I'm going to go through I'm just going to mention what I've read. I'm not going to go into details about them. I did finish.
How were we at an hour and a half?
Because you jinxed us twice.
How could we have that much to say in a week?
You said 2 different times, "Oh, it's going to be a quick one. It's going to be 20 minutes."
22 minutes, I think I said.
And then happens. All right, so I finished the 3rd book in the series that I've been reading. Book 3 was called War and Ruin. This is in I don't even know what universe it is. Let's do this.
It's the...
Hold on, I'm pulling it up now. The Bound and the Broken.
Yeah, Bound and the Broken.
So this is book 3. It's by Ryan Cahill.
Yeah.
And this book was a beast. It was 1,483 pages to be exact. It took a long time to read, but it actually covered... It explains so much of books 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. So I'm enjoying the series. Book 4 comes out tomorrow. And I have to decide if how I want to handle this, because book 5 will come out in March of next year. Mm. And I don't know if I want to read and wait a year, or read book 4 a month prior to book 5 coming out. But if you like fantasy, I would highly recommend this series. I think it's fantastic.
It's a great series.
I love the character development and the world building.
I'm still on book 1 of that series. Yeah.
You're on book 2.
I'm on book 2 of that. No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Kevin.
Yes, because of what you just found out last night, you're on book 2. And because of the character Arden's in book 2.
Wow, I'm a lot farther ahead than I thought. So then I finished book 1.
Yes.
Oh. I thought I was still in book 1. I was like, holy shit, this is like taking forever.
And then the only book I'm currently reading is Wolf Song by TJ Klune. I've read it a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's great.
I just needed a palette cleanser and something easy that I already knew before I made a decision about this book.
Yeah.
I didn't want to jump into anything too heavy.
Yeah.
Even though it's heavy, but because I've read it, it's not heavy to me. And I enjoy it.
So then other than book 2 of the Bound and the Broken series, which I am thoroughly enjoying as well, I just started the last book, the 13th book in the 13th Palidin series, called the Adversary.
That it has 13 books.
I know. I finished the Icefields. These are the audiobooks that I'm listening to. It is by Torsten Weitze, and it's totally my jam. I'm already having some anxiety because I know that I'm going to be sad when it's over, but it's been a long series, and so I'm really curious to see how it ends. These are always like those feel-good books. A couple of things happen. You do lose some people along the way, but it's so good. It's very like lighthearted. We're back to, I think I mentioned this the last time that we chatted. One of the books, I think book 10. Yeah, book 10 was narrated by a different person who had a completely different like tonality, and it just was not the same. They also not mispronounced, but their version of how they pronounce different things was different. Anyway, we're back to our guy. He's Gildred Lockhart. Is that his name? Something like that. He's a great narrator.
Gilderoy? Who's Gilderoy?
That's almost what I wanted to say.
That's Harry Potter, right?
I know, but I think it's Gilda, Gilda. Hold please. Do you think it'll tell me? It'll tell me in Audible. Let me go to Audible. I know you're all just. Is there a way that I can? If I go to my library,
I go to like book details.
I'm gonna go here. Title details. Gildart Jackson, narrated by Gildart Jackson. There's his name there.
Oh, the narrator.
The narrator.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Torsten Weitze and Tim Casey was the translator, because I believe this was in. I don't want to even attempt, so I don't want to speculate. But great, totally great. I have 15 hours and 52 minutes left to listen, and because I have an hour drive, that's what, 5 days, something like that.
15 hours?
6 days.
So you would get 2 hours a day. 5 days would give you 10.
True.
7 days worth of a drive.
7 days worth of drive. So we'll see what happens.
No.
Whatever. Depends on if I get stuck in traffic. Sometimes, like lately, traffic has been a little bit.
No more than 8 days.
Yeah. So that's what I've been reading and listening to.
And then
once I'm done with this series, I am going to continue. Of the
Bound and the Broken,
but I want to see if I can do that on audio.
Yes, Audible. because that third book is
long.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
For the amount of time that you read at night, you would be. I mean, you could. You could read book 3 and 4, and then you'd be ready for book 5 by the time you're done.
Yeah. These heavily layered world building kind of, and like when there's so many moving parts, my nighttime reading, it's not long enough for me to get into. Yeah. And like. Into that and actually make some progress. So, Anyway, it'll be a better listen, I think.
And then watching, I guess we'll just cover 2 things.
Sure.
right? Because they're both recent. We've watched them this week. So we watched, both of these are on Netflix. We watched a show called Adolescence. It was a limited series. It's 4 episodes. It's dark.
Yeah.
So
it's emotional.
It's emotional. It has some,
especially for
sensitive
like
topics
and people. Yeah.
So, but it was beautifully shot.
It was
a great series.
Yeah.
It is all shot in one take, so there's no change of scene, which was really, really cool to see through this.
Like the uncomfortable silences, and it felt like it was very, very well done. It was it felt like an artistic piece almost at some points, and like you were literally right there with the main characters or whoever.
Yeah.
There's like one of the episode 3, I think there was only like 2 people in
two main people.
Yeah.
Actually, both episodes 3 and 4 had. Oh no, 4 had a little bit more, but
there was some interaction.
Mainly 2 to 3 in that one as well.
I thought it was excellent. It was definitely something
really
very different, but it is very dark and emotional, and probably very.
There's some triggers.
Yeah,
it's
very triggering.
Yeah,
especially for like parents. I think it would be very, very triggering. For them.
So definitely.
So
if that feels like something that could be triggering for you, maybe just read a little bit about it before you would attempt to watch it.
I think that's good advice. But again, for the sheer like
cinematography,
cinematic value and the way that it was filmed, I thought was very brilliant.
Yeah. And then last night we finished up season 2 of The Recruit on Netflix, and
completely different type of show.
Completely
different feeling.
Yes, more action, spy.
Lighthearted.
I enjoyed it, and we were both watching it, and we decided that the main character looked like Mark Ruffalo.
100%.
So I Googled it, and apparently people Google this all the time.
Yeah.
Because it was like second in the search, and they are not related.
Yeah. I would have lost money had I been a betting man.
Right. They look alike and sound alike. They have
the same facial expressions that sometimes. Yeah. Totally.
And I think that's it.
Yeah. So what do we have coming up over the next couple of weeks? Anything?
Nothing.
Well, that's
that
nice.
I can think of. I don't think so.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
It's actually not too bad. But, and again, we apologize if the chainsaws are really obnoxious. If I find it obnoxious, I may try to clean them up. We'll see, though. So, but until then, we hope that you guys have a great 2 weeks, and we will see you in a fortnight.
Bye.